How do you find new books that you're going to like? This is the question that plagues both bookworms and people who read one book a year. Our robot overlords have provided us with so many fantastic recommendations for songs and movies on our streaming services and stuff. But where is the great service to recommend us our new favorite book? There are many that try, but few that actually succeed in any way. And likely this is just due to a taste in books being a little bit more complicated, I feel like, than a taste in songs, and also that if you don't like a book, you might have just wasted many, many hours figuring that out. So here we are to fix the problem. Here are the best tips and tricks to find books you'll like. How to find them, how to pick them, and how to get over the fear of it being a waste of time. First here, we're going to talk about broadly how to find books, and then we'll get into specific how to find a book that it will be your new favorite. But to just start out, if you don't know what kind of books you want to read, I recommend first choosing a genre. Go find some fantasy books, go find some self-help books, some old mystery novels, whatever. Good ways to find these. First, just search onto Google, best fantasy books of all time. Google will provide you with many lists, and we'll get into what to do with those kind of lists in a minute. If you want to find out what fantasy books were the most popular last year, the best place to look is Goodreads Choice Awards, which isn't an award for quality, but is an award for popularity. And there you can find the most popular books by genre for every year. But for the average person, they want a more specific book recommendation. They want a book that they're really going to like, not just a generic, most thought-provoking book of all time, not just a generic, best mystery crime novel of all time, and definitely not a generic, most popular sci-fi book of 2018. So here are my favorite tips and tricks for finding books that you'll actually like. The first place you have to start is figuring out what books and authors you already like. And this will be our kernel, from which will grow a fantastic tree of book recommendations. If you have a specific book and it's already a popular book, you can just Google book name read-alikes or book similar to this book, and Google will provide you with many lists. But let's get a little bit more nitty-gritty, and realistically, that doesn't work for books that aren't super popular. Find that book that you already like, and go onto its page on Amazon or Goodreads, and there are shelves of similar books. But those aren't always the best recommendations, honestly. Oftentimes, it's just more popular books in that genre. So how do you get a little bit more specific? It's oftentimes easier to do this by author than by book. So you look at the book you already like. Probably somewhere on that book will be a quote from another author saying how much they liked this book. That author is your new author to go research. Because of course the publishers will put on quotes from similar authors who have written books that similar readers read. So there you go. Write that author down. While you're at it, research if the book you like has any sequels or other books by the author you could read, because those will probably be the most likely to give you a gold 5-star book. Another great place to go is fan forums, like on Reddit. Let's say you love the Harry Potter books. You can go find the Harry Potter Reddit page, either make a post of your own, or go find the post that someone has undoubtedly already made asking for books that are similar to Harry Potter. There you go, the internet has already provided you with a read-alikes list. And while you're asking random strangers on the internet for book recs, you can also just ask your actual friends, your local librarians, who oftentimes will have awesome books that they can recommend to you. And then bonus points, you can then discuss those books with those people. Extra fun times, right? And there are lots of services and websites online that say that they can give you personalized book recommendations, from Goodreads to Likewise to many other small ones. I have been disappointed by them all. I don't know what it is about these sites. Some of them are just poorly built and hard to use, other ones the recommendations are crap. But let me tell you, the one website that I am incredibly happy with and would recommend to everyone, this is called Nooks, with a silent G. Yes, that, yeah. The premise of Nooks is that you put in the names of 3 authors that you like, and then it gives you more authors. And through you using this site, you're giving it better data so it can better give recommendations to the next person that comes along. This site is also connected to Literature Map, which uses that data from Nooks to make a map of all the authors, which is also very fun to explore around. But now, with all of these new ways to find new books and authors, you are going to get buried in recommendations. You are going to have the new problem of having too many books to read, and how do you ever choose? And that is the next problem you're going to tackle. Step 1, actually keep track of all your recommendations and stuff, because that list is going to come in handy in the future and you don't want to just have to constantly recreate it. So write it down somewhere on your phone, on your Goodreads profile, wherever you want, but actually save the information. Now that you've saved all that information, you probably have more books on there than you could read in a month, or 2 months, or maybe 3 months, or maybe 3 years. You could spend hours exploring on Nooks if you wanted to, getting a list of 100 authors. This will not actually help you find a book to read. This will just make the task larger. So what you need to do is cut yourself off. Find 5 books, and then say, that is it for now. I will now choose a book to read. How can you pick which book? Well, research the books a little bit. Great place to look, the Goodreads page. Read a few reviews. Another great thing, go read the first chapter of some of the books. It's usually available for free online on Amazon. Or just pick the book that's the most highly rated from your list. But whatever you do, you just have to embrace that this is a leap of faith. Reading a book can take a lot of time, and not every book you read is going to be your new favorite. In fact, most of the books you read are not going to be your new favorite. But that doesn't mean it's not worthwhile to read the book. And that doesn't mean that you can't take a leap of faith and just say, I am going to read this book, even if I'm not completely sure if it's going to be one that I'll enjoy yet. It is totally okay just to make a list of book recommendations and then get a random number generator and pick that number on the list. At some point, you just have to embrace the messiness that is trying to find something you'll like, because you have to try a bunch of things before you actually find the one. And something that can also help you with that is giving yourself the freedom to DNF a book, which means do not finish a book, which means you can just give up with a book no matter when. You are 2 pages in and bored, it's okay just to give up on a book. You are 300 pages into a book, it's okay just to give up and not keep reading it. Give yourself the permission not to actually finish a book, and it will be less pressure to start the book in the first place. Don't be afraid to go wild. Don't be afraid to start a series in the middle of it. Just go have some fun with books. Because no matter how pretentious it seems to read a book, like this is the most intellectual thing and you have to be so fancy while doing it, it's just for fun. So go have some fun. And the final 2 problems you may encounter: how do I even read more books? I would lower the barriers between you and starting a book. This may mean giving yourself a budget to buy books. This may mean downloading the Libby app, which connects with your public library card and gets you free ebooks. It's so great. Please, everyone needs this app. Or just setting a day to go to the library every week. Set a goal of how many books you're going to read this year. Make reading a regular thing instead of a thing you just do for your New Year's resolution. I design shirts for fun, like this one and many other based on different book series. Please go check out my store if you're interested. And let me know, how do you find good books? What tips would you give to people trying to find awesome new favorites? Thanks for watching!